Hi, so today we're going to talk about fanned fret multi-scale basses. We have two examples here.
Here we have the Wall Ng2.
Just a nice look at the bridge. And as we pan up, you can see the frets, all at an angle. Dingwall was licensed by Novax, who was the inventor of the fan fret system, and they were the only ones available for a very long time. A few years ago, the patent expired, and other companies began making fan fret multi-scale basses. Now, Novax will tell you that theirs is the best because of the intonation, it's perfect, and how well it plays. The other companies, they don't do an exact copy. Like the Ibanez is different in that the scale lengths are different.
Now we have the Ibanez Ehb1505ms, which has the added benefit of being headless. So you can see down below the bridge tuning assemblies and the angled frets. And here you go with a nice comparison shot of the two, with the Dingwall on the right and the Ibanez on the left. You get a better understanding of the differences between the basses. The Ibanez has a scale length that ranges from 33 inches on the G string to 35 inches on the low B string, while the Dingwall, the range is from 34 inches on the G string to 37.5 inches on the B string.
The thought of the fan fret multi-scale system is that the longer the string for the bass, the clearer that the bass note will be, less muddy. And likewise, with the shorter the length for the higher strings, the clearer those notes will be. So it's meant to be, beyond tone. It's more of how more along the timbre of the notes and how they sound. And because Novax was a guitar repair person, and he noticed the differences in how a long scale guitar sounded compared to a short scale. Short scale tended to sound much more muddier and undefined in the bass, while longer scale guitars sounded better in the bass, but the high end didn't sound as well. So it all comes down to proportions. Obviously, there are different scale lengths between the Dingwall and the Ibanez, but as long as the proportions are the same, there's a lot of math that goes into. So that's why you see that the bridges are slanted and the nut is slanted. And then the frets have to be positioned just so that the notes across the frets play. So there's very little of a adjustment. There is very little adjustment. The hardest area where to go is up here in the upper registers. May be a little tricky if you're going up. But other than that, once you pick up and start playing, from this angle here, it looks almost like a regular bass. So there's that. Biggest thing, and with the B string aficionados, is the how clear and piano-like, I guess, is the description. Do the bass string sound, and the idea is to get as clear a B string as possible. That's why 35-inch scale basses are very popular. Because it makes a much more pronounced, less muddy sound on the bass end, but then of course you have the problem where the higher strings tend not to sound as well as they could because they're not the optimal length. So let's dive right in and check out the B strings. That's what it's all about. Let's see how they sound. Start off, we're going to go with kind of a control bass. This is my Ibanez Ehb1505. It is a standard scale, 34-inch, 5-string bass. So it can give you sort of a control, as it were, to know how a standard B string sounds compared to the multi-scale fan fret ones. Everything's been tuned up. All the basses have been tuned using the same tuner. I am going through the Mesa Boogie WD-800, but I'm going pre-EQ, so as pure, as natural a sound as possible for the bass is going to be coming through. And yeah, so let's go with that again. And I'm going to be using the passive option for all the basses. We'll not be utilizing the preamps to with the there's no tone, no passive tone on the ding wall, so I'm going to have the tone controls all the way up on the Ibanez basses. So that's our ground rules. First, we'll start off with the open B string on the 34-inch scale. Okay, now the 35-inch scale B string on the Ibanez Ehb1505ms. Let's hear what the low B string sounds like on the 37.5-inch scale Dingwall. One more time, each bass without any commentary in between. Okay, so there you go. There's the B string comparison. Did you notice any difference? I'm not going to tell you anything. I want you to tell me in the comments which B string you like the best and why. So, now, having the nice clear B string is a nice benefit of the multi-scale fan fret bass. And it may be the main reason someone picks one, but not the only reason. Another benefit you get is much clearer notes across the fretboard. When you play it, you'll notice that the notes seem to feel a little bit different as they play, and it's much more pronounced. If you're playing, music that very highly detailed melodic music, and you want your notes to stand out, a fan fret bass is really going to make a difference for you, I think. And the greatest thing about it is that even though it looks funky and strange, there's almost zero adaptation time. But let me show you how double stops sound out here. So, again, there you go. For comparison, do you notice a difference in sound? What do you think? I'm kind of sold on the fan fret multi-scale myself. I'm really taken to playing my new Ibanez. It's moved up quickly, up to being my top number one, which I have 8 basses, so there's a lot of competition for that. Not as many as some of you, and more than quite a bit than some of you as well. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about the comparisons and all. For some people, it's solving a problem that doesn't exist, and for other people, it's a game changer in how it all comes down to how you want to sound and what your sound is. And I found, like I said, for myself, the fan fret really makes a difference in how I approach the instrument and how I feel when I play, and that's the most important thing. You gotta have to bond with an instrument and make you want to play a certain way. So again, the specs on the Ibanez is that the scale length goes from 33 inches on the G string, gradually increasing until it reaches 35 inches on the B string. It's a little bit different than some other basses. A lot of them have a 34-inch on the G string. For me, this kind of almost bridges the gap between a long scale bass and a short scale bass. The G string is very similar in length to the G string on a Rickenbacker bass, which has a 33-inch scale as opposed to a 34, which is the standard Fender and pretty much all around the rest of the world long scale bass. So to me, I think it's a pretty good overall integration, and I think the sound speaks for itself. So I'm really happy myself with the fan fret. And so now here with the Dingwall. And the Dingwall has a different approach. Dingwall uses the original Novak's system, which was patented back in 1989 by Ralph Novak, who wanted to make instruments sound better. So he came up with the fan fret idea. And the way the Dingwall works is the G string is 34 inches, standard scale, and the B string is 37.5 inches. So pretty big stretch. If you notice that the frets have a bit more of a severe angle on the Dingwall than they do on the Ibanez, and that's because of the greater difference in scale length between the G and the B strings. So that's what, keep that in mind there. But again, like I mentioned, with my Ibanez, I'm really happy with the way it feels and the way it plays. If you get a chance, check it out. You're a traditionalist and you want to just keep doing the things the other way. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But there's a never-ending quest to try to make things better. And some people have a certain tone or sound that they're chasing after and pursuing. And if you're the type who is always on that type of quest and what can be different and feeling frustrated with the traditional style of instruments, check one of these out and see. Maybe that's the sound you're looking for. Or maybe it's not. But it's good to know now that there are multiple options. For years, Dingwall was the only way you could go if you wanted a fan fret instrument. Now there's a whole lot of very affordable options out there. Bryce makes one that is questionable quality from what I've heard. I haven't seen one myself, but it may have been more of a hack where it was a regular style bass that was retrofitted to being a fan fret multi-scale. A lot of other companies like Ibanez have engineered the basses from the ground up. Their original, they're on their third variant of the multi-scale, and the first two are based on the sound gear. Look for my review, the Ehb1505 on my channel. It's good info in that video. It shows off the sound gear style, and then of course the EHB multi-scales, which have been engineered from the ground up to be both headless and multi-scale. So a little bit different approach. ESP is another one that makes the fan frets that's in the same price range as the Ibanez. High quality and all that. So a few options out there. Get a chance again, like I said, to check out a fan fret bass. Go for it. Pick it up. Give it a spin. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, let me know what you thought was the best sounding B string down in the comments. And let's have a discussion going on that. Again, please feel free to check out my playlist of bass reviews. And I'll throw a link up for my MS805 review as well. So, again, thanks for watching. Peace out.